Hello ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and welcome back to Microsoft Flight Simulator. Today we are back in the iFly 737 MAX 8 as Tomjet 312. We're sat on the ground at a very stormy Gatwick. We're taking this 737 on a very long 5-hour and 45-minute flight down to Boa Vista in Cape Verde. We'll be cruising at 330 initially. We'll be step climbing up to 360 later in the flight, taking 16 tons of fuel and 178 passengers on board today's flight, departing off 26 left, and we should be arriving on the RMP or RNAV approach on 203. So let's jump into the flight deck and get this flight started. So welcome to the flight deck. We are cold and dark. Well, not cold and dark, so we've got GPU power on. Just need to get everything set up, so get some lights on so we can see what we're doing. The scenery here is the freeware one that you can get on the flightsim.co website. I think this is probably the best Gatwick scenery out there. It's brilliant for free as well, and I think it's really good on frames. It's actually really good on frames on my system. So we'll jump into the overhead panel, get the IRSs to nav, and we'll get one fuel pump on, the cabin utils on, window heats, we'll get the seatbelt sign on, and the electric and hydraulic pumps, and the packs can go to auto. And we'll jump into the FMC, to the ident page. We'll go position, and we are sat on the ground here at Gatwick, so it's Echo Golf Kilo Kilo. Our destination today is going to be Golf Victor Bravo Alpha. We are Tomjet 312, taking off of 26 left here at Gatwick. And we'll activate that and execute departures and arrivals. We're going to be departing on the Northern 1 X-ray, or the Northern 1 Mike, sorry. And we're going to go on the Lima 620. And we'll take that to Sam. From Sam, we're going to go to the Mike 195 to Lorku. From Lorku, we're going to go to Boulder. And from Boulder, we're going to go to Abupi. We'll execute that. Then we're going to Viz. Then from Viz, we're going to go to Atmis. From Atmis, we're going to go to Bexel. Bexel, direct to Samar. And Samar, direct to Limmel. Limmel to the Upper November 873. Ipera will be joining that on that airway, and then it's going to join the arrival from the Papa India Sierra Papa uniform, and RNAV 03 on the Hispa 1P, Hispa 1 Papa, and that's by Bravo Alpha 50, and let me just check on the charts. So we're coming in on the third one there, and we'll jump into the plan mode, and we'll just make sure that the aircraft is going to be configured for that. So everything looks good there, and the arrival looks fine. Left flight director, right flight director, and let's go and get some loading done. So weight and balance, passengers, we'll just take the maximum 178. Just get the cargo and everything up there. So 178. Cargo, in the front hold we'll put 1,500, and in the rear hold we'll put 1,250. We'll set that payload, and then fuel 16 tons, and that will get us down to Boa Vista today. So it's given us actually on the block fuel 15.593. I just rounded up to the nearest ton, just in case, so we'll go 16 tons, and everything looks okay there. We'll get the courses lined up now. So we go our nav, and it's 4,000. Yeah, 4,000 feet stop altitude of the SID out here in Gatwick. It's very low. So 4,000. And we'll get these airfuel weights in. We've got our reserves of 2.6. That'll get us to Sal in the North Island of Cape Verde. Cost index of 9330. 248 at 30. And then we're going to go 6, positive 6 on the IC deviation. Right, let's get the takeoff performance plugged in. So we'll complete that, and we're going to copy data from FMC. And we're going to go flap 5, air conditioning on, anti-ice not required. We'll calculate that, and it's giving us a, yeah, they look all right. So 34 degrees, full 28k, flap 5, trim of 6.59 and 159. They're really high V speed. So 159's our V2, and we'll get that plugged into the MCP. 159. Lovely. That's all plugged in now. Get a bit of panel light brightness going in a second, or not the light. We'll get the APU going. And that's everything done. So let's take you through our routing today. So we're going to be departing southwesterly out of Gatwick, exiting the UK over Bournemouth, flying over Jersey, over Brest, into the parts of northern Spain, just over Vigo, then following it down straight over Lisbon, where we'll make our oceanic crossing via Bexor, just east of Madeira, straight over Gran Canaria, Las Palmas, following the coastline of Morocco down, and then descending into the Cape Verde Islands. So we should see, is it Sal, the other island, north? Golf Victor Alpha Charlie, that airport will fly just east of, and then descend into the southerly runway at Boa Vista. So it's an RNAV arrival. Weather looks fine down there at the moment. Calm winds and a QNH 1013. It's 30 degrees already. Should be arriving at about 10:30 AM, which is the real time for this aircraft to be arriving. We'll just get the rest of the aeroplane configured up. Get the APU bleed on, and we're really nearly ready for pushback. Sorry, so we'll get everything set up. We'll clear all the ground handling in a second. I wish there was just a single button to disconnect everything. We'll get the doors closed as well. Do they close automatically? Yes, they do. Brilliant. Okay, so we'll jump outside just to make sure. Yeah, they're all closed. Lovely. That looks nice as well in that lighting. What a beautiful aeroplane this is. IFLY have done a brilliant job.
Cockpit to ground.
This is ground. Stand by.
Get the beacon light on now. And we'll turn the packs off. So we're ready for engine start. I'll have legs down there. And I'll have any reference on mine. And we'll be ready to go shortly.
Okay, sir. The bypass pin is installed. All doors and hatches closed and all ground equipment is removed.
The parking brakes are set. You may lift.
Parking brake set. Lifting the aircraft.
We are cleared for start and push.
Okay, cleared for push start.
Parking brakes are released.
Commencing pushback. You can start the engines in sequence.
It will start in the sequence.
So we'll get the engine started now, because it takes a long time on the 7.3, doesn't it? For the Max anyway, because of the motoring feature. I'll throw the fuel in and we'll listen to that engine start. So just for our taxiing, we're going to push back onto Quebec Alpha, down onto Lima. We're going to turn right at Papa. We're going to follow that down and we'll go on Alpha Sierra. Alpha Sierra. And we'll take that to Alpha and we'll depart from Alpha. I haven't done the performance for Bravo.
Okay,
so we'll
pushback
depart from
completed.
Alpha.
Please set your parking brake.
Set parking brake.
Parking brake set.
Parking brake set. Lowering aircraft.
Ground. You may disconnect.
Okay, sir. Cleared to disconnect. Pin has been removed. See you at the side. Have a good flight.
Holding position waiting for the visual. Thank you and goodbye.
And our departure today, well, we just make the engine start, so it's max 250, 4,000 feet. But yeah, and that's basically it until we get to the North Map waypoint, then we can start climbing again. So both engines are starting nicely now, and there's the howl and the red line's gone, so engines have started nicely. Right, so we do the overhead flows. It's a bit like I'm on autopilot doing this on the 7.3. It's very nice to have an airplane. It's so easy to operate. Full right, full left, full forward, full back, out the rudders, full left and full right. All flight controls are free and correct. Lovely. So, oh, don't know what the camera's doing there. Turn the dome light off. Everything's ready. I have changed the camera, so on one camera I've managed to force it out of the fuselage, and I've got a nicer wing view so you can really see that beautiful engine. So we'll taxi on. Like I said, not too hard taxiing today, so we get to go under the big bridge that's here at Gatwick. And like I said, with the departure, we're on the Northam departure today. Northam, sorry. It's an RNAV departure. 4,000 feet, very low. I suppose it's because of Heathrow and all the other airports. Midhurst, which is 1.1114.0, which is the mid VOR. We're going to go direct that after Kilo Kilo Whiskey 09. Then to Novma, 250 knots max, flight level 40. Yeah, so just reading the chart. So due to intersections with other routes, pilots must ensure strict compliance with specific climb profiles unless cleared by ATC. So we're not on anything at the moment, we're just offline. So what we'll do is I'll comply with that, and then maybe just as we get to Midhurst, we'll climb up. I'll go direct to the waypoint where you can start climbing, but I don't really want to be sat at 4,000 feet for 22 miles. That doesn't sound too fun. So we'll leave that as it is. That should be alright. Just looking as well at the arrival. So it's a bit of a funny arrival. So we go to Bravo Alpha 503 at 2,000. This is going to descend us quite early to 2,500 feet. We're going to do an arrival onto Bravo Alpha 503. We're going to come across at a heading of 297. And then when we get to Bravo Alpha 13 Sierra, we're going to turn to Bravo Alpha 080 Sierra, and that's when we're going to start our descent again from 2,500 feet. Now there is on the chart a waypoint that is 4.4 nautical miles away called 44 Tango Hotel Romeo. At that point we need to be bang on 1,500 feet to continue the approach. So we'll have to be fully configured maybe by that point onto runway 03. So that might be a bit of an interesting approach, because usually with these RNAVs, especially in Europe, there's loads of points that lead up to the runway that have set altitudes, but this one, it's actually not programmed into the FMC. It's just a VOR beacon that's 4.4 miles away from the airport and have to be at 1,500 feet high, which is okay. So it descends on a 3-degree glide slope anyway, and the courses are 020, which is what we'll be fine heading for the runway. Now just checked, and in real life it's fine at the moment, but on my charts it does say there's probability of some sort of mist in the air that they get. I suppose it's caused by the sand, isn't it? I don't know if anyone lives or has been to Cape Verde. There's RAS. I'd like to know why there is, but we've got a warning that there's possibility of low visibility coming in at about 10:40, which is about the time we should be touching down, 10:30 to 10:40. So we'll see. It's still, we should be able to see the runway by 1,500 feet, no problem, but it just says there's the possibility of some low vis arrival. And then the go around's pretty straightforward. I'm just trying to get set up for it really, because I'm a bit worried I've never been to Boa Vista. Right, let's get ready to departure then. We'll get the lights on. There's a nice pause because the light's coming on. Tell the crew to sit down. And we'll get the auto throttle on. Look at that, that just looks really moody, doesn't it, with the lights. It's really nice how IFLY have done this, really nice.
Approaching 26 left.
Thank you, RAS. Brilliant that they've got RAS included in this. If you're having trouble getting it to work, like I did, just go into the app that you get with this, scan airports, and then it works. 26 left, right. Hold the brakes there for a minute, because I've just noticed that my controls are a bit skew with on my desk. So let me just try and move these, so I don't want to be departing with them at an angle. Move them early while I was doing some cleaning. Right, that's okay there, that's better. Right, so not on VATSIM or anything, should be alright. Weather, just another update on the weather. gusting at, set the parking brakes on while I read this, so I don't want to start moving forward. Gusting at 27 knots, brilliant. So this is going to be really hard to try and take off, isn't it? Because the taxiing in this aeroplane isn't the best. It's not too bad. Right, release the parking brake. And we'll start to spool them up. 40%. I'm happy with that. Clock, tow gap. Let's go flying. Thrust set. Indications are normal. So just trying to keep it central. It's the main aim of today's takeoff. And there's that wind. Whoa. Really struggling to keep it central. We're already lurching to the right.
V1.
V1. I'm happy with that. Let's go flying. Through the dead band and oh, there's that wind kicking us up. Positive rate gear up. Onto the flight directors. Goodbye Gatwick. Brilliant. That was really good. That was. Handling it quite nicely as we go through some clouds. Autopilot 1, come on. Taxi line, let me go along. Come off now. feet. Vertical speed 800 feet per minute. Start cleaning flaps up. And flaps on spot now. Lovely, look at that, brilliant. We are well on our way. Climbing up nicely to 4,000 feet now. Out hold. Right, let's have a look at the legs. We'll go 250. Oh, just popped in B now. I'll bug up to change the altitude to 33,000, ready to just get to climb. And in a second I might just go direct to a waypoint. So it's actually not as bumpy as I thought. The winds on takeoff are really hard to keep it central, but it's okay now. It's not as bumpy as I thought it would be. I thought we'd be all over the place. Can't get enough of that wing view with that massive engine there. It's so cool. What a brilliant aeroplane. see if I can delete that restriction. Is it hard restriction? No, it's hard restriction. So what we'll do is we'll just go direct to November India Bravo Delta Alpha, and the aeroplane's going to start climbing. So we'll get these start switches off, and off we go. Climbing now. So guys, not much left to do. I'll leave you with some climate cruise highlights, and I'll see you in a very long time, in about 5 hours when we're a lot closer to Boa Vista. Hello and welcome back to the sim. We're descending through 16,000 feet now. We're on course for the arrival. Still the same arrival, winds haven't changed, so it's still the R903 into Cape Verde, Boa Vista. So we've just been mulling over this arrival. It's a bit different to what I'm used to. And it's better to be safe than sorry, but be arriving on the not Gatwick, that was the wrong airport. Boa Vista, open charts. The arrival. Oh no. So, like I said, we're going to be arriving. First waypoint on the arrival is Bravo Alpha 503. That's at 2,500. Then we're going to be on the Bravo Alpha 13 Sierra at 2,500 feet. We're going to be turning right to a heading of 027. That's direct Bravo Alpha 08 Sierra. That's when we start our 3 degree ILS, well not ILS but 3 degree glide slope down. And then halfway through that, at 40.4 nautical miles at the waypoint of 44 Tango Hotel Romeo, we should be at 1,500 feet. And that is the arrival basically sorted. There is some high terrain, there is a hill right next to the 4.4 nautical miles. And it's 1,206 feet right in front of the runway. So when we're at 1,500, that's only going to be 194 foot below us, isn't it? So that's going to be really, really close. But that should be alright. And then when we arrive, so let's get the taxi charts up. Arriving on 03, we'll backtrack onto... Where's my taxi charts then? So we're arriving on 03. We'll do a 180 at runway 21, backtrack onto Bravo, and then the real aeroplane parked at stand 4, so we'll park at stand 4 as well, which is the second one on our left hand side of the nav. So that's okay, everything's been briefed, you've been briefed and I've been briefed, so we should know what we're doing when we start to configure for landing. I hope anyway, if everything goes okay. And the go around's pretty simple as well. Flying straight out, runway heading until the waypoint for Bravo Alpha 520, and then we'll make a 180 degree turn and we'll head back to waypoint Bravo Alpha 502, where we'll begin the approach again. So pretty straightforward, nothing too much, but we should be alright. We'll just get configured early. We've elected to go for speed flaps 30 auto brake 2, that should be plenty for the runway, because we've got to go to the end anyway and do a 180, so I thought best to keep the brake into a minimum and go full length. I have noticed one thing about the IFLY MAX as well. I find it's very slippy VNAV wise. I keep having to get speed brake out and then remove speed brake and speed brake because it's struggling. I mean, it might be like that in real life, but usually I'd have thought it'd be an idle path percent. So I might pop it into vertical speed shortly and just prolong that descent. Because the first waypoint, I know it says 2,500, but on the chart it says 2,500 at or above. So we can prolong that. So the weather's quite nice down there at the moment. Just a bit of low visibility might be in the area, that's okay. Everything's sorted. So just making sure I've got the correct arrival set in. That is correct, yeah. So the IFLY MAX has handled this quite well. We've got the fuel that I've calculated for, so that's good. How are you guys finding the IFLY 737 MAX? So I found it really good. I am thinking about doing a review on it because I think it deserves a review because it's so good. The only complaint I have is I wish you could toggle the cabin on and off, because this aeroplane is really heavy on frames, really heavy sometimes, and it reminds me a bit of what the Phoenix used to be like. The Phoenix used to be this heavy on frames, and then for some reason over the past couple of months with updates on my system, Phoenix has been really good, but this is really heavy on frames for some reason, the iFly, and it's a brilliant aeroplane. I'm not going to say anything bad about it because it is fantastic, but sometimes the amount of frames it uses up does ruin the immersion sometimes, and it does ruin the flight. So I did a flight, just a little short one, flew Lock Polish Airlines, complete with slow speed brake and 700 feet per minute. Flew Lock Polish Airlines from Warsaw Chopin to Heathrow, coming into Heathrow, it was flyable, but it wasn't enjoyable. It was one of those, and I know Heathrow is quite heavy, but I've flown in the 777, I've flown in the Phoenix into Heathrow, I've flown in the 73, just normal 800 KLM one. The frame's been fine, but in this it was very heavy. Now updates will come and optimise it hopefully, and I've been watching some streams. I think it's the click spots. There's so many click spots in this aeroplane, and I think that does use up frames and performance. And there's so many click spots, like there's all the aircraft overhead compartments in the cabin, the bins, they open. They've got click spots, the doors, everything's got a click spot, and plus the flight deck's really good as well. So I think the click spots add up. So if you're having problems with frames like me, I think we might need to start feeding back to the devs and say it's a bit too heavy on some systems. But apart from that, the aeroplane's brilliant. They could just lower the frames a bit. It'd be the best aeroplane on the in the sim, sorry. Better than the Phoenix. Now I know a lot of people have compared it to the PMDG. I really enjoy the PMDG, and I think actually the PMDG is ever so slightly better just because of the usability of the EFB. The FB on this aircraft is very hard to navigate sometimes, and especially with the new update for PMDG, it's just an easier plane to understand. But if we're talking about sounds, IFLY wins. If we're talking about visuals, IFLY wins, but there's more system depth in the PMDG. But like I said, over time, the IFLY might get better. And as you can see, I've just noticed the landfall there on our right side. Look at the thick layer of fog that's covering that. I mean, that's going to be interesting to try and figure out what we're going to be doing here. So I'm just going to get our alternative up and south, which is the most northern island of Cape Verde. Didn't realise how small the island of Boa Vista was. Nice and air can fly here, especially from my home base where I work. I've never been here in real life. I think TUI fly here. I think it's a night stop for TUI on the 73, isn't it? I think this would be a night stop for the crew. I think the 787 that they have does the like there and back into Cape Verde. Because I know they've got two stands here. They've got one centre and two centre that are big enough for 787-8s. There you can see the quite big hills. They're off to the right hand side as well. So that's going to be interesting to see how big that hill is that's right in front of the runway. Yeah, I read the charts and I was looking at it going, oh, it's a hill. So we've got about 1,500 feet and the hill's at 1,200 feet. So that'll be interesting. So like I've just slowed down. Just a bit of safe and sorry. I know this aeroplane's really draggy though. And that's why I don't understand why it can't keep VNAV speed. It's really weird. It's really draggy. And then when you start descending, it's not draggy. It's so strange. Anyway, we're all fully set up now anyway. We're just ready to turn and start configuring flaps and gear. And actually this scenery, it's Aerosoft. It's on their website thing, but it's it's not sold. It's not actually made by Aerosoft. It's made by someone else. I'll have to find out. So I'm just popping in now, Bravo Alpha 520, which is just the go-around point. So that's what it's runway heading anyway, but I'd like to know where it is. So yeah, it's just there. As you can see, I've just put a fixed ring around it, just so I know where to start turning. Because the reason you've got to start turning at that point is just to the right of that. There's quite a nasty hill, so you don't want to start messing around, flying around there. Hills that big, especially that low. That's why I love that wing. You look at that engine. This is the best modelled aeroplane in any sim. It's absolutely perfect. Every little bit of this plane is modelled correctly. With every other aircraft in every sim, there is slight anomalies with the modelling. The PMDG, the 777 and the 737 have small little problems that make it look a bit odd sometimes. The Phoenix looks really good, but I tell a lie. Phoenix is the same as this iFly. It's brilliant. And then this, the iFly, there's not a single thing on the aeroplane that is not correct to the modelling, if that makes sense. And I know in that new PMDG article thing, one of their new planes they're releasing soon, the special plane, it's going to be 3D scan, which is cool. So that hopefully their modelling's going to get a bit. Right. So, I know you just saw them approach speeds of 143, but on my little performance calculator on the left, it says should be arriving. Sorry, I had to mute my mic there to sneeze. The final approach speed should be 150 knots. That's the best with the winds. So we'll go with that, and we'll go 150 knots. So 1,000 feet above now, and that is a thick layer of whatever it is, sand or sea fog. Like I said, if anyone's been to Boa Vista or Cape Verde and you have this a lot, I'd like to explain why. Is it just because it's a very small island and it's sea fog, or is it the sand that gets blown up by wind? Because it is quite windy here today. We've got the VSD on as well, just so we can keep some situational awareness and stuff. And the new, speaking about PMDG as well, like we were earlier, their new 737 update that's coming is really good. They've added alright, it's not a very good weather radar, but it's a weather radar. They've added it, and there's better navigation integration. So, be interested to see what that update's like, because I'm really looking forward to it, because they've updated the ground modelling as well, so when you taxi it's supposed to be better. We'll see how it is. Anyway, let's get set up for this approach. We've got to start concentrating now. So 220 knots, we'll keep it like that. And we'll start bringing it back shortly. We'll go flaps 1. Even the flap animations are really good. So we've gone VNAV now, 500 feet, ready to descend again on the 3-degree glide, 200 knots, and we've gone speeding to V. We'll keep it 200 knots. And I'm happy with how that picture's looking so far, so we'll go fix. 4.4. That's what I forgot. I put 5. So we're going to slash 4.4. And that fixed ring, it's gone to 4 miles, but that fixed ring is where we want to be at 1,500 feet. So we'll see how good the VNAV is.
2,500.
So go flat 5 and go 180. 180 until about 5 nautical miles. There's that massive hill. God, it does look big, that, and it is bang in front of us. Right, let's see how VNAV does with this, because we should start sending at the next waypoint. So I've armed the speed brake, try and arm it. There you go, that looks okay. Just make sure it's not extending the speed brake, lovely. So I've armed the speed brake as well. And it is descending now.
2,500.
Call out, lovely. Gear down, flat 15. Start switch is continuous. Cabin crew been advised to sit down. All the lights are on. Give it a second. Flat 30, 150 knots bugged. Brilliant, look at that. That's really nice. So, flat 30, green line landing checklist complete. Just looking out for that runway now, and then we can disconnect. So, slightly offset at the moment. That's okay. I think I can just see the runway coming through that haze. Brilliant, look at that. Right, so I think I can see a little strip. I don't think the lights, I think that's just the actual runway itself. I can see.
One thousand.
Right, come on. Need to start seeing the runway now. And I can see it. I don't know if you're going to see it with that compression, but I'm happy. I've got a visual of the runway, my aeroplane. And then go back up to 2,400 feet.
Approaching 0,
Lovely
3.
RAS, thank you.
Approaching minimums 500.
Continue, I've got a
Minimum.
visual of the runway now.
Checked. 400.
Checked.
$300.
Get a bit low, adding thrust.
200.
Tad high.
100. 50. 40.
Close thrust
30,
levers.
20.
Hold it there.
10.
Hold it. Down we are, speed brakes up, reverse green. Manual braking, bring the reverses in.
300 meters remaining.
Brilliant. Welcome down to Boa Vista, Cape Verde. What a lovely flight. That's a really nice, fun approach to fly as well. First time flying to the Cape Verde Islands as well in the sim. Get the APU on because it's only a short taxi. And we'll spin the airplane round. Flaps and speed brakes coming in now.
Approaching 2, 1. On runway.
Let Ras finish
2,
first.
1.
That was handled really nicely by the aeroplane. I was slightly worried that the aeroplane wouldn't follow the guidance, but it did. Really fantastic. I'm really happy with how it handled it. So, backtrack onto Bravo and then straight on to number 4. Stand 4 is what we'll take. There's no air bridges here and it is a tiny airport, very small. The control tower's on the left, the terminal building's on the right. Really happy with how it handled it. I'm actually really enjoying flying the MAX. The first couple of flights I didn't like the way it was made actually. I thought it's a bit the way it handles, but now I've flown it for quite a few hours. This is my favourite plane to fly in the sim. It's really good. Flies really nice, autopilot's really good, it does what it says. I think if a company needs to pay attention, Aerosoft needs to pay attention to how this has been released, because I haven't found a single bug with it yet. I think the only thing that is a bit annoying is it doesn't follow speed restrictions very well on descent. So you'll get to a decel point, you just won't decelerate, it'll stay at 250 knots. So, but apart from that, brilliant. All the lights can come off now and we'll taxi on Bravo. And this is stand 5 in front of us. We'll take 1 left and 1 right on stand 4. Like I said, this scenery, I don't know who it's by. It's not by Aerosoft, but it's sold as like an Aerosoft scenery by one of their developers, but it's really nice. It's only a small airport, so it's really good on frames as well. That was a bit harsh braking. Carry it on a little bit. And that should be okay there. So what we'll do is we'll set the parking brake, kill the engines, and passengers can be released. Taxi light off, beacon light off, and we'll clean up the aeroplane. So welcome down to Cape Verde. I hope you enjoyed today's video. Long little sector in the 737 MAX IFLY. The aeroplane handled it really well. Really enjoyed today's flight. Flight time was 5 hours and 50 minutes. Actually, we're a bit later than we were supposed to be. But really nice flight, really enjoyed it, and I hope you guys enjoyed it too. If you guys have any flight requests you'd like me to do, please don't hesitate to ask. I did a poll the other day, and everyone voted for the Iceland Air flight from, it's the longest one in the world on the 737 MAX from Orlando to Reykjavik. That'll be the next video that I'll be doing. I just wanted to do some TUI ops to get that out of the way. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, please subscribe and like the video. But for now, guys, I'd like to leave you. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you all again in the next one.